Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Today is Thursday, March 13th, 2014. We're talking to Maureen from New Jersey. Maureen, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm back.
All right. Thanks for sticking around, Maureen. I appreciate it.
You.
So, number one, she needs to eliminate the 10 bad foods, because these foods cause chronic inflammation in the body. These foods cause chronic inflammation in the body, and that's never a good thing. She needs to stop eating those foods immediately. Number two, to support and promote the structure and function of her bone marrow, which is where the white blood cells are made, and leukemia, of course, is an illness of white blood cells.
Yes.
So when we have that diagnosis, what we're attempting to do is to optimize the blood. Optimize the structure and function of the blood, right? So we do that by supporting the bone marrow, and we do that with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, one bottle of 2.0 per 100 pounds of body weight per month, one bottle of Beyond Osteo FX liquid per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's the Osteo FX liquid, not the powder, the liquid.
Is the 2.0 also the powder?
No, I'm not recommending the powder very much anymore. The 2.0 of Beyond Tangy Tangerine is the latest iteration of a multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement. It's really an awesome product. It is a powder, but we dissolve that in water, and it's not a problem. The powdered calcium is what I'm getting away from recommending, because I'm not seeing it produce that results which were on par with the liquid calcium, and liquid calcium is awesome. Now, the liquid calcium is called Beyond Osteo FX.
Yes, I know that. I'm on it myself. I'm on those three products.
All right, good. So Beyond Tangy, Beyond Osteo at 2.0, Beyond Osteo FX, one bottle per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus one extra bottle a month. So you want to give her one extra bottle of the white liquid calcium a month. That's going to help a lot. We do glucogel, liquid glucogel plus into the bargain here. One bottle per 50 pounds per month, one bottle per 50 pounds per month, and 4 bottles of selenium a month. I don't care how much she weighs. 4 bottles of ultimate selenium a month. Now, after she's got those fundamental foundation bases covered, did I mention the EFAs? Because that's part of it too. One bottle of EFA plus per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's the EFA plus. So we've got one Beyond Tangy 2.0, one EFA plus, and one Beyond Osteo FX plus per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One extra bottle of Beyond Osteo FX, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month, and once those bases are covered, then as much Z-Radical as she can afford. If she can afford a bottle a day, then she should get it, and she should drink a bottle a day. If she can afford a bottle every 3 days, get that. If she can afford a bottle a week or a bottle a month, whatever it is, that's what she adds on top of this in order to optimize her body's structure and function. She really needs to be proactive about this as far as holding the MD's feet to the fire as to how effective and dangerous and expensive their therapeutics are. Because remember, we're not against MD therapeutics. We're against ineffective medical treatments. We're against medical treatments that don't work, that cause cancer. Over half of the cancer treatments that are currently available cause cancer, and at very best, they prolong somebody's life for 5 years. Now, breast cancer is a possible exception to this, but it's the exception that proves the rule, and we're going to have a long conversation about that when we have our breast cancer week here on Fire Your MD Now. So get her educated,
Doctor,
get her on board. Go ahead.
Product I did miss. It was Beyond the liquid, Beyond Tangerine.
Yeah.
You had the Osteoflex, you had the EF, you had the 4 bottles of selenium, but there was one thing before that, and I didn't catch.
Yeah, glucogel, liquid glucogel.
The liquid glucogel.
Yeah, but it's got to be the glucogel plus. There are two types of liquid glucogel available in longevity. You want to get the glucogel plus.
Okay.
You want to do 1 bottle of that per 50 pounds per month. So if she's 150 pounds, she gets 3 bottles a month, okay?
Okay.
And keep your fingers crossed and get her that book and, have her call me after she asks her oncologist those 10 questions, because I'm dying to hear what their answers are. No kidding. I would honestly and truly have her not do that alone. Have her do that in the presence of a witness like her husband or her father or her brother or somebody, hopefully a male, and record it. And if more people did that, there would be a big change, a sea change in the delivery of cancer treatment here.
I would imagine there's going to be a lot of stuttering and stammering.
Well, there's going to be a lot of something. I've had patients kicked out of oncologist's office because they had the audacity to ask their oncologist whether this treatment cured their cancer. So, people need to stop putting medical professionals, myself included, Dr. Wallach included, up on pedestals. We're just normal people. There's nothing really different that separates a doctor from a policeman or a ditch digger. It's just another type of job. And, our feet should be held closer to the fire than that of anybody else. But we're not. We get passes all the time. MDs, for goodness sake, their therapeutics are the leading cause of death in the United States, the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, and we still love them. We have a love affair with our MDs, and I do not know why. It's because we don't ask questions and we just assume. We assume that our medical doctor knows what's best for us, but they don't. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is just one tiny piece of the pie of medical science, but the pharmaceutical industry has convinced everybody that it's the only piece. And this is why we suffer and die. We need more physicians like Yeshi Dondon, for goodness sake, and then everything would be different. Maureen, I have to move on. You're the greatest. Keep up the good work. One more person, by the way, Longevity Nation, who's taken it upon themselves, the health and the welfare of their brothers and sisters, both familial and social. You want to play that game? You want to get involved with that as well? Then you need to join Longevity. If you're already a member of Longevity, then why don't you become an insider on my website? And if you don't want to become an insider and lay down $20 a month for immediate access to over 100 hours of archived health webinars and 5 hours of live webinars a week that you can use to help build your longevity business, then just give us your email address, because we're having a nice offer right now. We're going to have a special offer that we're giving out this week. It's a special offer that we're emailing out this week, but we have to have your email address. It's a special offer regarding a new set of audio and video DVDs that we're releasing. We're having a special, but it's an email special only. And to get it, we need your email address, and that's free. So just go to fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the link that says join Dr. Glidden's, get a copy of Dr. Glidden's free newsletter by clicking here. Give us your name and your email address. For goodness sake, you can make a name up if you want, but we need your real email address. And then you'll be on the list, and you will get all of the offers, the reduced offers that we send out about 3-4 times a year. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what you don't know. And when it comes to health, the stuff that you didn't know is either going to heal you or kill you. And we hope that you get on board with this life-saving information. Let's go to my old stomping ground, my state of birth, Massachusetts, and talk to Cindy. Hey, Cindy, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I'm a newbie here. I found you probably 3 weeks ago, and every day pretty much since I have you on YouTube, and I'm just smiling the whole time. I'm going, oh, gee, you're right on. I mean, just so true about the MDs and the whole system. It's a system, and I try to stay out of it as much as I can, and there's a reason for that. But anyway,
Whoa. Tell me the reason.
Well, my dad got pancreatic cancer probably about 6 years ago, 70 years old, healthy, lifted weights, never sick. He only went in to get his hernia out of his belly button because he was going to Florida for the winter, and he said, I should get this out. And he went in, they called him, they biopsied it, and then he had pancreatic cancer, they said, and he died within the 6 months. They talked him into this aggressive chemotherapy that I tried to talk him out of because there was no hope there anyway. It made him sick. He thought he trusted them, and I took him to many healing services and tried to go another route. And every time I took him there, he felt really good, and he felt he was healed, and he was in faith for a healing. And then he got talked into going that route by friends, and it just ate him up. And what it did to him in those past 3 months, he stopped taking it on his own. He said, I don't want to live like this.
Well, and what happened, here's what I want to know. What happened to the friends who recommended that he do it? Did they witness the devastation that crap affected on his body? Were they there to witness that, and did they have any second thoughts or resignations? I'm going to bet no.
No, the opposite, because their daughter works for Mass General. She was the one who got the oncologist, and they think my father died quicker because he got off of the chemo.
Yeah, well, it's nonsense, right? I mean, it's like the blind leading the blind, and the hardest person to convince that slavery was a bad idea, of course, were the slave owners, right?
Exactly.
So the people that are involved in conventional medicine, the only people that have a problem with what we do are people that have some skin in the game of conventional medicine. It's nonsense. It's utter and total nonsense. Stick around, Massachusetts. I'm coming back with you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. I'm talking to Cindy from Massachusetts. Cindy, are you still with me?
I am. Just real quickly, make a long story short, I woke up mid-January not feeling well, really not well at all, weak, just like my legs weren't mine. I had the shakes. I ended up going down to the MD because my husband made me go. So, and I fight this. I am really tough. And I went down. She did blood tests because of my age, 54, thinking it was, maybe menopausal, whatever. And she called me back and she said, it's your thyroid. It's 8.1. I knew nothing about thyroid. And she said, your B12 is really low at 20. And your vitamin D is at 16. So she said you have the perfect storm going on. That's why you're weak and tingly, and you've got the muscle cramping and all that. So that seemed like an easy fix as far as the B and the D. I got on the vitamins, and they went up really quick. But I said to her, I want to try to get the thyroid up, down on my own. Can I do it? And she said, no, you can't. That will not change, that TSH. I said, oh, okay, well, let me think about that, what I want to do. In the meantime, I went on the paleo diet, and I've been on it since, and I got that down to 4.9 right now.
Yeah, that's remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, just from eating right, and so that's remarkable. I tell anyone with a thyroid to try, just the no carb thing, and the gluten, absolutely, that was a problem, obviously, for me. So anyway, I ended up calling and getting through to Dr. Wallach, and I was the last caller. I got cut off, and I said, I'm going to call Dr. Peter Glidden because I just like your way, and both of you are blessing. But right now, he had me on Tangy, the 2.0 Tangerine, the Osteo Liquid, the EFA, and then he said the Ocean's Gold. Now, I didn't have a chance to ask him anything about that because I got really cut off. The Ocean's Gold does have seaweed in it, and I did have a reaction to it one time when I ate it. I'm not sure if I can take that. Do you recommend I try it at least, or is there something else that you can recommend? And what I didn't tell him was I noticed on a report like a year ago, I got my spine x-rayed because I got hurt at work. And on that report, on the bottom, it said a calcification, 7 millimeters, 7 mm calcification on right lobe of thyroid. I just found that. It was a year ago. So they didn't even pick up on that. So that, I don't know what that means, because I'm certainly not going to go get that checked out with them, because it's a witch hunt.
Well, what it means is the doctor overlooked a very important part of a diagnostic array. I mean, they just overlooked it. So, I mean, that's incompetence. I mean, if your automobile, if you bought a brand new car, you've been saving up for 5 years, you finally have enough money, you buy a brand new BMW, beautiful car, and it starts making a funny noise, and you bring it in, and they overlook the fact and miss the fact that even though it says right there on the computer that there's a faulty transmission module, but they don't do anything about it. And then you're driving down the road and the transmission falls out, well, you're going to take legal action. Well, why won't we do that with our MDs when they screw up? I don't know why we don't do it with our MDs when they screw up. We do it with everybody else. I mean, we're the most litigious nation in the world. We've got more lawyers than seagulls, for goodness sake. By the way, what part of Massachusetts are you calling from?
I'm north of Boston in Byfield, Massachusetts, near Newburyport.
I grew up I was born and raised in Nantucket. I went to Williams College and the University of Massachusetts. I've been all around Boston all the time. It's a great city. I love Massachusetts a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, and you're right about that. I mean, as soon as I saw that, a year went by, I said, wait a minute, no one said anything to me about a thyroid a year ago. So I brought that paperwork in, and what they did is they said, oh, it's such a 7 millimeters, so small, it's probably nothing, but we should get that ultrasound. And
7 millimeters is, I want you to go to the hardware store, get a millimeter rule, and check out how big 7 millimeters is. It's not small, but in any event, calcification of any bodily tissue most of the time is caused by a deficiency in magnesium. I've got a lot more to tell you, Cindy. This was a short segment. Stick around. I'll dial it in exactly when we come back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, talking to Cindy from my old stomping ground, Massachusetts. So, Cindy, look, I'm going to do some more shameless self-promotion here. Seems to be the day for it. You are a perfect candidate to become an insider. I have on my website over 100 hours of archived health webinars. I've got one on thyroid health that walks you right through it from start to finish. What the MDs think causes it, what we know causes it, what their diagnostic stuff is, diagnostic stuff to avoid, the diagnostic stuff to get. And it lines up strategies for you from A to B, and it explains the whole thing in kind of a fun format, I think. I think it's fun and informative anyway.
Okay.
You can become a subscriber. It's a subscription month to month. It's $20 a month. Cancel at any time. Or, pony up for a whole year and you get 2 months free. But I would encourage you wholeheartedly to check that out, because there's only so much I can do here on the radio in the short amount of time that I have, and that's why I've put together these health webinars. And I'm telling you, you're a perfect candidate for this, because you are actively involved in understanding and figuring all of this out. I mean, so I would encourage you to get on board with that. But what I will tell you is you don't need to do the ocean's gold. If you've had a negative reaction to any type of seaweed in the past, then I would avoid it. You don't need it. The recommendation for you, what I would do, would be one bottle of Beyond Tangy. How much do you weigh? What's your current body weight?
About 137. I'm 5'3".
All right. So I'd do one bottle of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
One bottle of EFA Plus.
Okay.
One bottle of Beyond Osteo FX Plus. That's the liquid calcium, not the powdered calcium. Beyond Osteo FX Plus.
Mm-hmm.
3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium. And 1 bottle of something called Immortalium. 1 bottle of Immortalium per month. That's a really good program for you to start with. But, of course, in addition to the paleo diet, in addition to eliminating gluten, there are 6 other foods that you need to eliminate from your diet immediately. You need to go to a chiropractor and have them assess the structure of your neck, whether or not the curve in your neck is correct, because if the curve in your neck is not correct, that's probably why your thyroid is underfunctioning.
It's not correct.
Well, then a good chiropractor will be able to give you exercises that restore the normal curve to your neck. And you need to get on board with those every day, because this is a condition which, when mechanically misaligned, that ain't going away, sister. And as you get older, it's going to get worse. You need to fix that. It's kind of, you got to put the train on the track, man. So you got to get this not straightened out. You got to get it the reverse of straightened out. And it's easy to do. I mean, you basically lie on the bed with your body, or you're on your back, you're looking up at the ceiling, and your head is hanging over the edge of the bed. And you do that for a couple minutes a day, and then an extra 30 seconds a day, and then an extra 30 seconds, until you can do it for 5 minutes twice a day.
Okay.
You just stretch your head back like that. Work up to it. It's not easy. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But it's not easy. So you got to work up to 5 minutes twice a day. But, I'm a big fan of chiropractors, big fan. A really good chiropractor, a really good body worker is worth their weight in gold. So, I would have my neck assessed. I'd have your neck adjusted a couple times a week for maybe a month, and do this exercise to restructure the curve, plus the medical nutrition, and eliminate the 10 bad foods. And you can get that list for free on my website by just signing up for my free newsletter. That's Fire Your...
I don't need any of that. So that's a good, easy one for me. When you're on the paleo, that's the toughest thing I've ever done. So those 10 bad foods, they kind of fall in that category.
Yeah, okay. Oil tends to be the hardest thing for people to wrap their heads around, but, it's necessary that you stop eating oil into the bargain. It's any oil, no more olive oil, no more salad dressing, and especially anything cooked in oil is like death. So
you're saying no more oil completely. I thought it was no more cooking oil, but you mean no more olive oil.
No, oil. If it's oil in a bottle, don't even look at it. Run the other way. Absolutely, yep.
Okay.
But I did a whole webinar on that, too. I'm telling you, knowledge is power. You got to dial this stuff in and then look for results. I mean, you've already seen results without medical nutrition. I mean, you're going to love how you feel once this program kicks in.
That's why I'm not going to get that ultrasound, because I already know the routine. They're going to want to biopsy it, and then the witch hunt begins. They're going to want to take that thing out, and I'm not going to do that.
Well, you shouldn't do it. You want to avoid surgery at all costs, and especially now because of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. They're everywhere now, and the only place people pick that stuff up, or the main focus, the main vector, is in hospitals, from just a normal surgical procedure. So unless you're bleeding to death, really you want to avoid the scalpel and give your body the medical nutrition that it needs to bounce back. Keep your fingers crossed and see how far back you come. I have to move on, Cindy from Massachusetts. I appreciate you.
So much.
Go out there and get your health back. Yeah, you're welcome. From Massachusetts to Alabama, we're going to go down to see what's going on with the Crimson Tide. Hey, Anthony, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Doc, how you doing today, sir?
I'm really good, Anthony. What's cracking?
I got a young lady. Hold on one second. Young lady that's, I believe she's 13, 174 pounds, 5'11", and has, it said there, says she's got lipodystrophy. And I met him the other day, and are you there, Doc?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. He was saying that it's something rare type of disease, lipodystrophy. And I met him the other day, and he started crying because he said, "This must have been God putting me in front of you." And I said, "Hey, I've been meeting a lot of people the last 2 weeks, and he's just been wanting to find that solution to this problem of his stepdaughter." So.
Well, it must be extremely rare, man, because I haven't even heard of it. So when I haven't heard of something after 25 years, and again, the MDs come up with all kinds of cockamamie names for stuff all the time. Lipodystrophy, I have no idea what that is. Lipo, of course, is an acronym for fat. So she's got some type of dyscrotic process, some type of chronic inflammatory process going on in the fat cells of her body, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to have to look this one up. But
yeah, he said something about her body is looking like a bodybuilder body at that age, and it's something doing with her body structure, I guess, fat, you know.
Yeah, so maybe her body isn't producing enough fat. Okay, so again, remember, this isn't rocket science. Either way, all that we do is provide foundation medical nutrition support for the body, regardless of the diagnosis. The only variable here really is, you know, what part of the body is being stressed and how much does the person weigh. So any type of dystrophy, right, you got to add selenium into the bargain. So I would give her 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, plus 1 extra bottle of selenium a month, stopping at 4 bottles a month. Don't give her more than 4 bottles a month, but give her 1 per 50 pounds per month, plus 1 extra. You know, if that brings her up to 4, then you want to stop there. In addition to that, I would start with the anti-aging healthy start pack. The anti-aging healthy start pack, dial that in. The anti-aging healthy start pack would be good here, plus the selenium and immortalium, because the immortalium has fucoidin in it. The fucoid Z has Z radical has fucoidin in it as well, but the immortalium has a bunch of other things in addition to fucoidin, all of which she would benefit from here. So it's the anti-aging healthy start pack, selenium, and the immortalium, plus, of course, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Now, you want to tell everybody that you're talking to, Anthony, that this is a holistic, get your health back program. So as people are waiting for the big nut to crack, right, while people are waiting for the blood pressure to get better, for the blood sugar to get better, for their arthritic knee to get better, for their weight to get better, whatever people's chief complaints are, once we hook them up with a good foundation medical nutrition program, you want to counsel them to please pay attention to everything else that's going on in their body. How's their mood? How's their energy? How's their sleep? How's their sex drive? How's their menstrual cycle? How's their appetite? How's those little aches and pains that they've gotten used to? Whatever. Because when we dial in a good, effective medical nutrition program, things start to get better in a subjective way. You know, you feel it. You feel better. And if people pay attention to those subjective changes, it will give them inspiration to maintain the discipline necessary to stay on the program until the big stuff starts to turn around. And, you know, healing is a process, not an event. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen. The body will optimize its structure and function to the ability that it is able. But it ain't going to happen in a day. It ain't going to happen in a week.
I'll speak on that after you get done with this young lady.
And people need inspiration to maintain the discipline. So that's what I would do, at least for the first 8 weeks. And, you know, have her call me back with a report, because we don't get enough of that and we really like it.
Okay, Doc. Can I ask you one more thing?
Yeah, man, we're good.
Okay, I got a young man, ex-military, and he wanted me to ask you about the acid reflux.
Oh, yeah, well, you want him to avoid the VA, because, as Dr. Wallach says, there's 2 places you can die for your country, on the battlefield and in the VA. So really, I mean, have him avoid the Veterans Administration as much as humanly possible, because they really practice outdated, old-fashioned, archaic, destructive medicine. Heartburn, from our point of view, gastroesophageal reflux, Barrett's esophagus, whatever you want to call it, if from our point of view is caused by a deficiency in stomach acid. Your stomach acid is not strong enough. The MDs have this one completely backwards. They'll tell you that you have heartburn because you have stomach acid, and they are wrong. They're dead wrong. Heartburn, GERD, esophageal reflux, these are all just different arms of the same octopus, different levels of intensity of the same illness. And they're all caused, as far as I'm concerned, from not enough stomach acid. Because when you don't have enough stomach acid, you get a preponderance of something called gastrin in the stomach. And when there's too much gastrin in the stomach, the little valve at the top of your stomach opens up in the presence of the gastrin, and the gastrin squirts up into the esophagus. What little bit of stomach acid is there squirts up into the esophagus, and that causes heartburn. So to support and promote healthy digestive function, the recommendation is 1 healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 extra bottle of white liquid calcium a month. Salt your food, eliminate the 10 bad foods, and slowly wean yourself off of all antacids and proton pump inhibitors. Slowly wean yourself off of that crap, because you don't need it. You're going to start to feel better after about day 14. Appreciate you, Anthony. Keep up the good work down there in Alabama. Stick around, folks. More to come. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Finishing out today with our old friend from Miami, Abiezer Amoudi. Abi, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thank you for taking my call. Without much time left, I have a simple question about one experience that I had recently, and I would like to see if you have some ideas about it, some knowledge about this. It's about sleep. I have been experiencing lately that when I go to sleep, let's say at 9 p.m., 8:30, when I go early to bed, right, I sleep 5 hours, max 6 hours, and I wake up fully rested, and I spend the rest of the day completely without any problems, right? And I'm taking my supplements as always. However, when I go to bed, let's say 11, 12, more or less midnight, I sleep more hours sometimes, and I still don't feel rested throughout the day. Not even I wake up feeling fully rested. Do you know if this is related? I mean, there's something related to hours of, I don't know, but I have experienced that very much, a lot lately.
Well, yeah, I know what it is, and I'm glad that you bring it up, and I'm glad that you asked it. It's a question that not a lot of people ask, nor a lot of people experience, at least not here in the West, because we're so used to, going to bed late. I mean, we're not used to listening to our bodies and following the lead of our body. We're used to doing what our neighbors do and what our coworkers do and what everybody else in our life does, and it's easy to get into that habit. There's something in the human body. Remember, our basic premise here across the board is the human body knows how to regulate its own affairs. The human body has built-in God-given intelligence. The human body knows what's happening. And it's the same with sleep. It's the same with the sleep-waking cycle. Scientists have given this sleep-waking cycle a name. It's called the circadian rhythm. And different people have different circadian rhythms. But your body has a sleep and a waking cycle that is natural to it at this part of your life. Now, interestingly enough, the sleep and waking cycle will change depending on your age, but also on the latitude and the longitude at which you exist on good old planet Earth. If you were to move to Chicago, your circadian rhythm would change. If you were to move to Tahiti, your circadian rhythm would change. It's in sync with the electromagnetic field of the Earth, I believe, but I don't have any real strong and fast and hard data to support that. But the basic premise here is, regardless of the operative cause, what's happening is when you go to bed at a certain time, you sleep a requisite number of hours, you wake up, you feel great, you feel like you've slept through the night, you've got energy, and you go through your day and you're good to go. That's an indication that your body is in sync with its circadian rhythm. When you're out of sync with your circadian rhythm, you're still going to sleep, you're still going to wake up, but things are not going to be right. It's kind of like I don't know if you've ever been a singer or had any experience with music or being in a band or anything, but if someone is playing a melody and someone is trying to accompany that melody, the music that the accompaniment is playing is either in harmony and sounds excellent, or it's out of harmony and it sounds crappy. They're either pitchy or they're spot on. Well, when you're in sync with your circadian rhythm, it's spot on, man. It's beautiful harmony. You are in the groove of your life, so to speak. And, thank goodness that you've stumbled upon that groove. It's not a normal groove because we're just not used in this culture to go to bed at such an early hour. But when you do it, when you find your circadian rhythm, when you find your groove, everything optimizes and it changes into the better. But I have to tell you something, Abby, FYI, it's virtually impossible to find your body's circadian rhythm groove when your body is under-nutrified and you're eating all the wrong foods. Because there's so much inflammation happening in the body, so much metabolic imbalance happening, that you couldn't find your circadian rhythm if somebody presented it to you on a golden platter. But when you've eliminated the 10 bad foods and you've tightened everything up, there it is. And it's a beautiful thing, man. Don't worry about it. Just stay on that track, man, and you're really going to optimize your life to a remarkable degree. Thanks, Abby. You're the greatest. Keep up the good work. Ladies and gentlemen, live webinar tonight for insiders only. Check it out.